Hey traders, welcome back to another quick sharing here. So what is the one most important thing for any traders if you're looking to play the long-term game? And the number one most important thing I always preach within our trade club is re-entry management. I believe this is a very strange or a very unique terms to most of you, because I've not seen people talking about how do you manage a re-entry. But that's the number one important lesson in our trade club that I always preach. So earlier I was actually reviewing our traders' performance, and this trader tend to run into a long losing streaks. And I believe this is a very common issue for most of you watching my channel as well, is why do I always encounter losing streaks? Like, how do you deal with that? But when you look at the overall performance, what can you see? Pound yen short, pound yen short, pound yen short, pound yen short, dollar yen short. Aussie dollar long, Aussie dollar long, Aussie dollar long. So when you see repeating pattern like this, you immediately can tell one thing. This trader is having trouble dealing with how do I know when am I supposed to stick to the trade idea, or when should I just give up on the trade idea. And this is a very important thing to master. Just to also show all of you, we literally just I actually just posted a lesson on this. So trades review, I was talking about this, and one of the most important thing I always teach is re-entry within our trade club. So you can actually see how many lessons we have on managing re-entry. We have one on studying MAE, MFE. Then we have managing re-entry. So you can see that two types of entry style. Yeah, 4 rules to manage and assess your re-entry. Not that. Re-enter. Entry confirmation, when to re-enter trade. Yeah. So back to the topic. So if you're someone, like I said earlier, if you keep dealing with losses after losses after losses, most of the time it is not about your technical issue. It's all about you do not know when should you give up on a trade idea. And when you have this issue, the most important thing for you is to actually set up a criteria and say, so what's my defense line? Defense line is also a term that I teach in our trade club. So what is the invalidation point? So let's say today you are looking to go long on pound dollar. That's one trade idea, right? So whatever long you take after having this trade idea, they are all considered the same trade idea. So today, even if you risk 1% per trade, but you take 5 losses on pound dollar all longs, that means what? You 5x your risk on the same trade idea. Okay, setup is setup, trade idea is trade idea. Even though you have 5 separate positions or 5 separate losses on pound dollar, as long as they are all long within a similar time period, they are all the same thesis, which is you are bullish on pound dollar. So if you go back to this trader, you can actually see, you see repeating pattern, won't lie. You see, Aussie dollar long, Aussie dollar long, Aussie dollar long, all of them are losses. Pound yen short, pound yen short, pound yen short, pound yen short. All of these were losses. So what that actually means is this trader 4x risk on pound yen and 3x risk on Aussie dollar. So if you do the math, that's 7R. That's 7R risk, what we call, that's 7R risk exposure. So I hope all of you, after watching this video, you can really sit down. I can't go into the detail as I have to respect our trade club, but you have to really sit down and ask yourself, hey, if I'm always dealing with losses, how can I have better criteria? How can I have better filtering process? or a better path selection process or better invalidation point to tell me, hey, if I take a loss today one time on pound yen short, I'm done. For the following few days, unless I see price do this, then I'm allowed to re-enter short. Good trader will always have a systematic process that guides them on how can you re-enter a trade. And that is one most important risk management aspect that I focus a lot on. Because to me, when I go through my journal for the past 6 years, if I would have a clear invalidation point at the beginning of my career, I could have cut off at least half of my losses. Because if you really study deep into most of your losses, you realize most of them are just you being too biased. So directional bias is the most dangerous thing any single trader can have because it leads to over risking. So, like I said, ask yourself, under what circumstance am I allowed to re-enter this trade idea? And once you have the filtering process, trust me, you are so good at managing a risk. Because most of the time, every single trader we know, oh, I have to risk 1% per trade. This is the beginner. But when should you re-enter? That's the most important thing. You take a loss, you re-enter the same trade idea. What if it's also another loss? Are you going to just go again? Then at the end, how much risk are you really exposed to just blindly sticking to this trade idea? At the end, it might not be even be trading anymore. It might be just you being so biased into one direction. You are just gambling. Because let me share with all of you, because the thing that you don't want it to happen is, and it's a very common mistake. Let's say today you short a double top. You go short here and price stops you out. If you don't learn how to pull the handbrake, so what's likely to happen is price come back, it stops you out. The moment it go back down, you are going what? You are going tilt. You might, your subconscious, your conscious mind will tell you, let's go back in. And then you go back in again. And guess what? Stops you out. And it comes back down. And then you re-short again. So this is a double top short. Makes sense because it's sticking to a system, it's sticking to a setup. This one, is it still a double top? No more. It's no longer a double top. You're taking trade outside of your system. And then price come back up, come back down again. Is this a double top? No. Then why are you shorting it? And this initial loss was a good loss, because you have a defined stop loss placement and you know exactly what you're doing. You're sticking to a double top setup. But this one, you're shorting within the invalidation zone. Invalidation zone means anything within your initial entry to initial stop loss is considered a red zone. Red zone means market is telling you you're wrong. And if you go back into short, when the market is proving you you're wrong, you are gambling. So imagine you go back short here, your stop loss is above the high, and you get stopped out again. And now imagine how silly it is to go back in here and re-short again, and each time your target just extends, because in order for you to make your money back, you will tend to drag your TP further. And guess what? It stops you out and it goes on and on and on. And after a month of shorting, when you go back to the chart and you just sit there stunned and ask yourself, what have I done? And this is the worst mistake you can ever do as a trader, which is no invalidation point thesis, no re-entry criteria. You are blindly gambling on one direction. So yep, I hope all of you learned something new from this lesson. I don't normally talk about this topic on our YouTube channel because this is a very important lesson within our trade club. And yeah, I can't go deep into the details on how you set your re-entry criteria, but I hope this video gives many of you an aha moment. Alright, if you like the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye bye.